You got problems. You need to get straight. You need a therapist. You know what you need? A therapist.
I would like to start off by saying, y'all, we tired. But not only that, we are not licensed professionals. We do not care about your problems, only ours. So go get some help and continue listening as we grab about ours.
I feel like that's the disclaimer we need to put at the beginning of every episode.
Can we?
Can we
Yeah,
like we need to like pre-record it and
um,
put it up
can
there?
I pre-record it now and then
No,
you clip it?
no.
Oh, we'll do it later.
Yeah.
Okay.
but
All right.
um but yeah, like and not to say that I don't care about y'all problems. I do care about y'all problems. Like
But I can't help you.
we care enough to try to give advice from our perspective and our point of view of things, but like we can't help you, not on a professional, not at the level that you may need.
Mm. And I really say that as a disclaimer for our main topic today, because if you seriously dealing with this, you seriously need to go get some help. And we might say some lighthearted stuff about like how we think we might have this, but we are not professionals. So I cannot diagnose you, me, anybody, but I can say these are the symptoms and signs based off of what I Google, child. And you know what Google say a lot, child.
Google do be
Get you
saying a lot.
cancer, everything.
Girl, ain't that the worst when
So
you Google something? Like if you have like a little common cold or something, and then you Google it, and Google tell you got herpes or some shit, and you be like, "Bitch, like, do I?"
a lot of the symptoms be the same for everything. So, child, you like, well, do I got herpes, gonorrhea,
What is
chlamydia,
it? Wait, I thought I had a cold.
AIDS,
Bitch, am I about to die?
chicken pox? I
Girl,
don't know what I got.
it's
Mm-mm.
real
So
serious.
that's why
Don't Google shit.
just
Go to the doctor.
go to the doctor.
Go, go to the doctor.
Mm,
And I
they not. Oh,
My
sorry.
bad. But I have been doing like a whole bunch of like research. I'm getting back into my woo woo bag. And so a lot of the stuff I be looking at, they be doing like holistic healing and stuff like that. And it's this
Mm-hmm.
one girl that I follow. Her name is Queen Poe. I love Queen Poe. But she's like a holistic, like little woo woo African spiritualist. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and she was in the group chat or whatever talking, and she was like, yeah, y'all know I'm all about my herbs and my holistic healing. She was like, but sometimes y'all need to take your ass to the doctor. For real.
Sometimes
Sometimes y'all need to actually go to the doctor now.
some of y'all ain't living right. That the herbs and stuff can't
Yeah,
cure. Not fast
you need to
enough.
get something to clear it out first, and then you can start the herbs.
Starting new.
Yeah, start. You need to cleanse first, and
Get purge
and then do it like that. But
your mind, your body, your soul,
some of y'all need to go to the doctor for real.
your pussy.
Pray-
Um, I would like to start off with some very sad news.
well,
My boy, what?
what's the sad news?
My boy, Leslie, our boy, he gone. They done took him.
Well, shit.
Well, shit. They done took our boy. Leslie is gone. I was highly upset. I was at work and one of my subordinates was like, she whispered it too, and I just overheard it. And typically I don't be listening. I be in my own zone or whatever. She was like, Leslie Jordan died. I said, who? Not my boy. She's like,
Leslie.
Leslie Jordan. I said, Leslie? Little white, short, gay Leslie? Will and Grace
Mm.
Leslie? Leslie done died.
Leslie brought a lot of light into our lives. R.I.P.
I said,
Leslie. That one
yeah.
hurt.
I said, me and Kay used to be like, let's check on
Let's
Leslie, see
check
what
on
he
Leslie.
doing.
We used to check on Liz. We check on Andrew.
Andrew.
Girl,
Them
them the
honestly, them
only
the two
two.
that we be checking.
Yeah, them the only two.
Let me check on them.
Damn.
Yes. And then the way he died, it was by car accident,
Mm, Poor, poor
allegedly.
Leslie. This is starting out to be a real shit week. I just want to say. You want to know why?
Why?
Because them damn dragons in that house,
If you have not watched, uh, what do they call
the
that
House
thing?
of Dragons.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
Spoil it.
If you have
Spoiler
not
alert.
watched House of Dragons, do not continue listening. Skip.
Skip.
Well, we'll tell
Yeah,
you.
just
Just keep
pause for
skipping.
like skip a couple seconds up. But it's
Oh no,
starting out to be a real shit week. If you haven't,
friend,
go watch House of Dragons. I finally got Raven to watch House of Dragons, y'all. She
girl.
caught up.
And one
In
day,
one day, she watched all of. She got hooked. She couldn't help herself. She could not help herself. I told her when she started, she was gonna be in there.
now, friend, it took a couple
It
episodes
took
because
you
I
to
wasn't
the
paying
third
attention.
episode to really get into it.
I was like, "Hey, I don't know what the fuck is going on."
Girl, that's how it always
And
is. But you got to feel it. You got to fill in the gaps. You got to pay attention.
you kept me on track,
Stay
friend.
focused, baby girl. Stay focused. Okay,
Shout out to Mr.
Mr. McKnight.
Mr. McKnight.
But yeah, the way that it ended, I hope my girl Ray Ray burn all the motherfucking seven kingdoms down. Everybody gotta die.
Can we dissect this? How can we dissect this a little bit?
So are you, and I probably know the answer to this, but are you team Ray Ray or you them other niggas? Otis.
I'm Ray
Okay.
Ray.
Cause even though Ray Ray is trifling, like don't get me wrong, like Ray Ray a little trifling, right?
She done fucked the. Did she fuck him or was it she didn't get to? She kissed
Who?
him. Did they actually
Who?
fuck?
Sir,
Uh,
sir.
Damon, Damon and
Oh, when they was in the whole
Raymond.
house? No, they were
Yeah.
fucking.
Uh,
I
did
think they were
they?
fucking.
Okay. I know they kissed, and then it got to a certain
I think
point.
they was fucking. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm pretty certain they were. But I mean it wasn't clear, but I think they was. Um But like Ray
Th-
Ray, she had her ways, right? But I don't hold that against her. One, she was 14, right? So she was super
Mm,
young, and she was exploring her sexuality. And it just sucks that
mhm,
women don't get the same luxury as men to like in certain luxuries, because women do have a lot of freedom as far as like being bisexual and all those things. But like as far as in those times, like if you wasn't a virgin when you got married, you was like no good, basically. Like you were
mhm,
like bad goods, send her back, like whatever. And
mhm.
so, but homegirl was like, forget that. I'm gonna go out here. I'm gonna sleep with my uncle husband, and then I'm gonna go sleep with the night's guard too in
And
the
one
same
night,
night.
I ain't never did no shit like that.
I ain't either, but I'm about to came close.
I wasn't trying to tell you to say something, friend, but the way you just paused
Nah,
like
I
that.
haven't. I haven't. I promise. But
Okay.
no shade to nobody that has though. Like I
No,
ain't. You
not at
grown. As
all.
long as you being
You
safe.
single,
Like
single and
single and
safe.
safe. You grown. Do you boo? Um.
Mhm.
But yeah. So Ray Ray was a little shaky at first, but she was the rightful heir to everything. And when that little raggedy bitch Allison talking about the king said in his last breath that he want his son to be the heir. Bitch, if he
He didn't know he was talking to
first of
you.
all, we don't know what that man was saying because he was barely hanging on.
He
He
wasn't in
was
his right
not. He was. They had
mind.
him on that milk of the puppy or whatever that little sedative medicine they have. It's like a little
Oh,
tea, that little brew.
that's what I'm saying. He didn't know he was talking to her because he mistaken him when one of them walked in the room. I can't remember if it was Allison
I don't
or
know, but if that man wanted that son to be the king, he would have said it when he
he
was
would
in
have
his right
made
mind.
it.
He had all them years to say that shit. And he didn't say it.
Mm-mm. He was down for his. That's what as ugly and
I told you. I
that
told
man
you, friend. He kept getting sick and said he kept getting worse each episode. I was ready for him
it
to
was bad.
rest. He needed to rest.
Yes.
Um,
But he rode for his daughter. He rode till the wheels fell off, to his
and
death, to
and
his
he knew
last
she was
breath. He
raggedy.
rode
He
for
knew she
her.
was raggedy too, but he ain't care. That was his baby. And then
I know she having bastard children. And you better not say it either, because I'm cutting your goddamn tongue off.
That's what I'm talking about. But yeah, such a good show. The way that it ended definitely left you on the edge of your seat. We got to wait all the way to what, 23, 24 for the new season.
I'm upset that you made me watch it, and then I didn't even know I had to wait that long to get to the
But
damn.
now you can just go back and watch Game of Thrones, and then it's all good.
No, because then if they, I'm a.
You can watch Game of Thrones, and it's
Okay,
all good. And
okay.
that's it.
I'm really
We need
upset.
to you know what we should do? A good episode idea is to take the House of
Mm.
Dragons and break it down and be like what them niggas need for therapy. Like what they need. You need a therapist. You need to face the truth. Daddy Veneris with your eye falling out. Like everybody need to accept their truth.
Eamon is a little
Who
that little
who?
motherfucker. The one with the one eye.
Oh, that nigga. When
The one
he
that got
always had that little
bullied.
smirk, that little the crack of his mouth always looked like
He looked like he was gonna be chubby when he was little, but
pissed me off.
why was his eyeball glowing
Oh,
like
I think
that?
he might be a White Walker.
So
I
he
don't
dead.
know.
He's a White Walker dead. I don't even know. Y'all, I haven't even watched Game of Thrones, so I don't even know.
Mm-mm.
I just know that I got hooked on House of Dragons, and now I gotta wait,
You
child.
welcome.
I don't know if I want to
You
say thank
welcome.
you because I was doing just fine without it.
Mm,
Literally, it had me stay up to 12:30 last night, losing
watching this
sleep
show.
to finish watching it, child. Because I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to sleep after this episode. That was around 8:30, 9:30. Bitch, I kept pressing next, next. Fell asleep, then press next
It
again,
be like that
child.
when it's good. Hmm.
Hmm.
But how you been doing, friend? You good? How was your week?
Um, I've been in my mood lately to where like I just don't want to be bothered by people at all. And I don't know. I don't
Okay,
know.
and that's okay.
It is. Yeah. I just
You here,
don't know.
and that's if we're doing the best we can with what we got.
Yeah, I think I just overwhelm myself. Like I get stressed really easy and then I just be feeling overwhelmed and I don't be wanting to be around people. I think that's more so what it is. Once I feel like I got a hold on things at work and like things are like pretty
Hmm.
normalized, because I'm getting back into the habit of like biting my teeth together
Mm.
and that's how I start to notice like I'm stressed. And I'll be trying not to think about work and stuff like that when I get off, but I don't know, it's just a habit. I don't know. I don't know how else not to do it.
You should
Um,
come up with like a routine at like the end of the day or whenever you get home, like a unwind from the 9 to 5 routine, like something
yeah.
that you do every day that completely takes your mind off of work.
Yeah, cuz that's I mean, honestly, that's the only time that I feel like I'm not like clenching my jaws. Is like when I can really distract myself
Hmm.
and not think, have a care in the world. Honestly, I just really need a job that I don't have to take home
Yeah.
and think about. Like one of them jobs are like that are just like I get paid for it, but like I go there, do the job, and I can leave, and I ain't got to think about the next day or whatever or anything. And it ain't a whole lot of jobs out there like that, but
Mm-mm.
unless you the dumpster man or a janitor,
No.
because you just do the physical labor, like physical labor jobs. I feel like you could just do it, go home, not think about it, and do it the
I'm
next
sure they
day.
got shit they worry about also.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, how have you been?
I've been good. Yeah, I've been good.
Hmm.
So this week I did the getaway thing. Yeah,
Oh
that was really
yeah.
really nice. So I took 3 days, and I was legit in the woods down in Shenandoah, Virginia.
The
Shenandoah,
who?
Virginia. I
Oh
think I'm
okay.
saying it right. Um, but
Hmm.
yeah, I was down there for 3 days in a cabin by myself. People thought I was actually like crazy for doing that shit by myself. I had my gun with me, y'all. Like I had my gun. I didn't feel unsafe. Even if I didn't have my gun with me, I don't feel like I would have felt unsafe. The only time I got scared
That's what I was about to say. Tell them about them woods
the
now,
only
child.
time I got scared was I tried to go on a hike. So on the campground, they had trails, and I was going to go on a hike. And because it's fall and the leaves were falling, the trail wasn't clear. And
Mm.
so I got about a quarter mile into the trail, and I was like getting super spooked because I was like, it's snakes out here, these leaves. Like, what if I step on a snake and I get bit and ain't nobody out here with me and I can't make it back? So I'm like,
Your mind just started
yeah.
going
And so
down a
I
rabbit
was
hole.
like, I'm just gonna turn around. But it was nice to get out for a little bit and do the hike. But I did get outside. I wasn't like in the cabin the whole time, but I did get out. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was really peaceful. I cooked on a fire. I tried to make a s'mores. They weren't good. Yeah, it was stale.
Stale.
The how you got a stale marshmallow anyway? But I really needed that time to disconnect from everything, like
Mm-hmm.
disconnect from work, disconnect from being a mama, disconnect from just everything. And I think that really helped get me grounded because since I've moved here, I really hadn't felt connected to myself or felt grounded. I just been just all out of whack. And so that trip kind of helped put me back where I feel good. Like I feel back to normal. Um
Yeah.
so yeah, that was really nice and much needed. And I recommend it. Like people stop being scared to try new things and do new things. Stop being scared to do
By
things
yourself.
alone. Like it's perfectly okay to do things alone. Sometimes it's what you need. Um really, because I was able to sit out there with my own thoughts, nobody else, no distractions, no nothing. I journaled. I meditated. I meditated for a hour one day, just sitting there meditating. I
Mm.
didn't even fall asleep. I was legit in like a meditative like trance, and it felt really good. Like it felt so good to just be able to take the time out to do that for myself. So highly recommend it. And the getaway house was super cute. So if you don't know what it is, get on Google's getaway. Super cute. But this is not a sponsor
They are
ad or
cute.
nothing. Just something that I like and Raven tried also. So
I got a question for you, a statement,
okay.
something like that. That's all on the social networks. Name something that bothers you, but it ain't none of your business. You want some examples? Let me give you some examples, child. Cause this shit took me the fuck
Was
out.
this
I
on?
said, "Oh
Was
my
it on
god!"
Twitter?
There's so many. No, it was on
Oh
the shade room, child.
god.
Um, I was like, "There's so many things that bother me that ain't none of my business," and you tell me all the time, "Well, Raven, stop." Well, I
Yeah.
can't help it. I cannot help it. All right. One is, hold on, braided lace fronts. When people say a prayer for me, don't ask any questions. When people argue and that white foam be in the corners of their mouth.
What is that?
When I see kids walking to and from school by themselves. When my coworker boyfriend drop her off to work in her car.
That ain't none of
Ain't none
your
of your business.
business.
And then somebody said, I can't find it, but somebody had said something about uh the audio from the Beyonce, Jay-Z, and Solange elevator fight.
I wish I could hear that.
I
What was
still want
they
to know.
saying?
I want to know what. 'Cause the only person that was
She
talking
was
is
she was talking
Solange
and
going off.
that's how you know Jay-Z fucked up.
Jay-Z was like, "Hey, hey, hey,
Hey yo, B, get your
hey,
sister.
hey." He ain't say that because he was gonna lose a wife if
Mm.
he said that. Because Beyonce was
And
mute,
that's how you know he fucked up. Like she wasn't
child.
coming to his like aid or nothing. She was like, you deserve.
Then they got outside and
Mm.
split. Girl, can you? I cannot imagine Like, just being in the eye like that, I'm getting off track, but we're gonna get back on track. Just being in the public eye like that and having something, like, so traumatic. We gotta
Mhm.
topic. Anyway. Something so traumatic happened, and then all of a sudden, paparazzi and everybody's looking at you, now you gotta put on this, because that's what Beyonce did,
No,
Solange
Solange was
did.
pissed. Yeah.
So Beyonce said that's that's almost
That's how you
scary.
know Beyonce for real crazy. For her to be able to just like, or maybe she's not crazy. Maybe she's
Put
just
on a
really in control of
face,
her emotions and she can just, and yeah, maybe that's what it
compartmentalize.
is. Because if I was that heated in an argument like that, I wouldn't be able to go out and smile. I would have been like
Heated.
Solange and been ready to, like you would have seen it on my face.
Like, we would have had to stay in this
For
elevator
me
a
to
little
go out
bit
and just be
longer
able to keep my
to
head down and I mean no eye contact, like for real.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. But anyways, what is something that you can name that bothers the hell out of you, but it ain't none of your goddamn business?
When okay, so I got a couple. One is when niggas be flying on the highway, but it's traffic, so it's like you ain't really going nowhere. You just recklessly driving for no reason. But it's traffic. Like I can see if it wasn't traffic and you was flying and you was
Oh,
just on your own, but niggas be like flying and weaving through and don't get nowhere. And we end up being at like the same red light or something. And I'll be like, you did all that and we right here together. It's like it ain't none of my business, but like it's
ain't gonna
annoying.
lie.
It bothers me. You be that guy. You be that guy.
Ain't gonna
Yeah,
lie.
I know.
Sometimes I am. I'm not like that. I don't weave that bad in and out of traffic, and I use my signal.
No.
Most motherfuckers don't be using their signal. But like, if I see a moment for me to like go, I
Mm-hmm.
be looking ahead. So if I see a moment for me to go, boom, 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 I, be,
And see.
I take it.
Um, another thing is when people post who they dating on social media. Just dating, like y'all not in a relationship, y'all just dating, and they post, and then like 2 weeks later, then you see, mm-hmm.
All the pictures down,
It ain't my business. It just
or
bothered
they,
me.
or they post the plate in the hand,
Mm-hmm.
but not the man. You could have saved it for yourself.
I got a couple
We
pictures
ain't need
like
to
that in
know
my
that.
phone. In
No,
my
in your phone,
phone,
that's fine, but you ain't post.
it ain't.
Oh,
Y'all
yeah.
don't know it. Y'all ain't
But
seen it.
right, not
Yeah,
shared to the social media. And friend, why is it just the hand and it's just
that's
on the
all you need to
phone?
see. That's all I need to see. That's all I need to
But
see
only you
sometimes too,
seeing
girl.
it.
Just the hand.
The hand. Because if you
Mm-hmm.
see the nigga face. Mhm,
Let me stop.
mhm.
Let me stop. And then something else. I got one more, and we just
Uh,
talked about this last night. And this is
Go
real
ahead.
petty of me, and we just talked about it. But when I was talking about Lori Harvey baby hairs, why it be so many of them down, and it ain't none of my business. And it's cute, but it just bothers me that it's so much that she put down. She got some good edges at least.
Well, if that's what bothers you, but ain't none of your business, mine is bad wigs, period.
Braided
Like,
lace fronts.
oh, well, then let me pick another one. Because all the lace
I
fronts be
don't.
bothering me
Yeah, they.
sometimes when it ain't good.
If it's done right, then it's so like it bothers me less. But they still just bother me. And I get the convenience of being able to throw on a wig. You got your meat meal braids up under that wig and you can just throw that wig on and you can just go. I get it. I understand it. I just don't personally like
Just
the
put
way
on
they
a
look.
hat.
And it ain't none of my business.
What really bothers me is when the texture of your hair and the texture of the weave be different.
I'm about to get me a wig. I'm gonna get me a sew in. I'm gonna get a sew in. Why?
Don't. Okay, you could get a sew-in.
Ooh.
That's the only thing I said you can get.
I
A
don't want
wig,
no
you
wig.
can't.
I just told you how I felt about wigs. I don't want no wig. I want to sew in them.
Okay. But you used to be so adamant about buying a fucking
It's,
wig.
can I get one for Halloween?
You tried that and it didn't look right. Remember the
That was
Halloween
a
wig you
bad one.
bought?
That one I knew that
Didn't you
one gonna
buy
be right,
one?
but I want to get like a wig and try it for Halloween. You ain't no
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm trying to think what else bothered me. I can't think of that. You said you had something to say on the pod, and you said you was gonna write it down so you
when
don't forget.
yeah, it was
When we
that's what it
was
was.
writing
My
down
things
notes.
that was bothering me. Mhm.
Oh, that bother
Yeah.
you? Oh, damn. My bad.
That was
I
it.
thought you had something else. Anyways. All right, guys. We're gonna jump right into our topic. And like I said, we are not
No, we
licensed
not.
professionals. Go seek help, y'all. If y'all seriously think y'all have issues, don't be like, well, Raven said, or well,
Because I'm not
Kay
gonna be
said.
liable. I can't help y'all. Mm-mm.
I am not liable. I don't know your problem. I just know mine. Anyways, our topic for today is post-traumatic stress disorder.
PTSD.
Child. PTSD. And no, we are not sticking to, I know we military girls, but no, we are not sticking to what the kind of PTSD that you think about in the military, even though that is a very real thing. Um, but we're not sticking to just
It's
that.
not
And
limited.
honest,
It's a
yeah,
broad. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah. To say even that, uh, the reason why this topic even came to mind is because, child, I've been watching them white people show, the Kardashians. I know. I feel like I bring them up every
You
podcast now.
do. Stop.
Okay. Anyways, I've been watching it, and like there was an episode where Khloe went and got her brain looked at because you got money, so you can just go get an MRI or a CT scan on your brain just for the hell of it. Anyways, she went and got a scan of her brain, her and her sister Kendall, and the doctor basically, I don't even think I saw this episode, but the doctor basically said she got PTSD from Tristan cheating on her all the time. I said, damn, that might be a very real thing. She's been through some shitty relation. Lamar Odom, her fucking ex-husband was caught in a fucking whorehouse overdose on drugs.
It's them
And
women. Them
then
women ruin men. They ruin men. I don't care what nobody say.
Tristan
Mm-mm.
and his whole ass cheating on you about to push a baby out, then cheating on you with your sister's best friend,
Allegedly.
kissed her, whatever, something happened. Then motherfucker got a baby on the way at the same time. He done convinced you to have another baby, a surrogate.
I mean, I'm not saying that it's not ghetto. I'm not saying that it's not true that it can happen because it probably well is. I want to know if you can sue somebody that you've been in a relationship with for causing PTSD.
I don't know if you could sue.
Like you caused distress on my life. It's proven. It's documented. Can I? Can she go back
Honestly.
and sue him?
Honestly, you could probably sue for anything. Like the way I told you somebody was trying to sue Texas Pete because Texas Pete wasn't from Texas. It's from North
I wonder
Carolina.
if I can sue some niggas from PTSD. Oh, some niggas might be able to sue me for PTSD in a relationship.
Oh, but then mind your business then. Ain't something that bothers you, but ain't your business. Mind your goddamn
Yeah,
business,
you
bitch.
right.
Mind your goddamn business. That's
Yeah, that
tricky.
is tricky. Let me stay in my lane. You right.
You be in court trying to sue and they right back trying to counter
Counter sue.
sue.
They might win, girl. I don't know.
Girl, mind your
Mm.
business. But anyways, PTSD. It is a psychiatric disorder. Mind you, I cannot diagnose you. Psychiatric disorder that may occur in people who have experienced or witnessed a traumatic event, such as a natural disaster, Hurricane Katrina
Mm.
is the first thing I thought of. Um, a serious accident, maybe a real bad car accident,
Mm-hmm.
a terrorist attack,
Active
9/11,
shooters.
mm,
Yeah, and that's real. That's too real in today's society.
mhm,
Yeah.
war, combat, rape, or who have been threatened with death, sexual violence, or serious injury.
Mm.
So that's essentially what PTSD, a traumatic event, and then you wait, what else did it say? Moving on. Anyways, the types of PTSD that
But wait,
are
before you move on, do
uh,
you think that you have any type of PTSD?
I can't diagnose myself, but yes,
What do you
possibly.
think,
Yeah.
based off that like definition, you think you got some post traumatic? Yeah.
Absolutely. Um I feel like yeah. I
I just think anybody living in this age, like today, like has some form in one way or another, whether it be on the extreme side or a less extreme side. Like you've had some type of traumatic stress occur in your life, you know?
yeah, and then like how do you even define traumatic? Cuz it could just be a thing that has like to me regularly happened in your
Mm-hmm.
life that now you're just super anxious and stuff about because it's been a regular occurrence in your life and it's like here we go again. Like you got PTSD cuz it's like I've been
This
here
is just
before. It's going to happen.
your normal response to an abnormal like situation. And so how do you
Yeah.
even know if you're really dealing with it, you know? Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm.
Um but like for instance being cheated on, like if you continuously being cheated on, like every time you get with a man, your response is probably all men cheat
Mhm.
or like you don't trust men and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Or
So
any
that might be
like
your response.
change or anything like you triggered. And
Mhm.
that goes not just for like relationships and cheating, but anything like people like war vets and stuff like that. Like something the slightest thing could be off and it could be triggered. Like niggas getting in elevators or stuff being on the floor that ain't supposed to be on the floor. Like that can really trigger somebody who's been in combat or something like that. So those triggers, you got to kind of pay attention to stuff like that.
Mhm. Police officers, if you reaching for something you
That's tricky. That's tricky. Mm-mm. I don't know.
everything is tricky, child. Everything
And
is
the thing
tricky.
about people, first responders, law enforcement, and military, we're specifically trained to deal with those type of situations, which is why I say that it's tricky because a police officer, if somebody is reaching, like you need to be trained and skilled and know what's what and know how to react
Absolutely.
in those different scenarios. Yeah.
Absolutely, but that's still not to say that something traumatic could have happened on the line, on the job of duty,
Mhm.
right? And it was triggering for them. I'm not saying like if they continue to have this kind of response, they probably shouldn't be on the line anymore, but like maybe a traumatic event happened while they were on the line and
Mhm.
now it's like they're
They on
just triggered.
edge. Yeah.
Yeah, they're on
Mhm.
edge because of a bad a situation that went wrong or something
Mhm.
like that. Yeah. Not saying that uh yeah, first responders and everything should be we get trained like in situations where like if the worst shit went down, we almost get numb to it
Kinda. Yeah.
essentially. Yeah. Like people who see dead bodies all the time where the average person might cry and be like, "Oh my gosh, why aren't you
Mhm.
crying?" Somebody might be like, "I see this all the time. Like I don't have time to
Yeah.
cry right now. It's not a moment or
And
whatever."
in those situations too, like you, I'm sorry, we all off over the place or whatever, but
No, we not. We fine.
um, like knowing how to react in certain situations. Like, so me with military background or whatever, and also being a mom, like if a situation happens and it's like an emergency situation, like and somebody gets hurt, do you freeze and just sit there and try to figure out like fuck what to do, or do you immediately like jump into like action mode?
Most people are gonna
Yeah.
freeze because they're not trained to think like, "Okay, stop. Uh, you go call
Yeah, right.
911. You do like and
Mhm.
delegate and do all that stuff." Like in the military or whatever, we're trained to be like, "Okay, these are the steps you take." So when that shit happens, you don't freeze and don't know where to
Mhm.
start. because probably in most cases people gonna be like,
Or you can
ah, oh
step back,
my gosh.
assess, and then see where you need it. Like prime example, like I seen
Yeah.
this person get hit on a bicycle one time, right?
Girl.
Crazy as shit. And this is not the first time I've seen somebody get hit, but like in those situations, or like if it's like an accident or a car accident or something like that, like for me, I don't know if it's just because of my military background or because I'm a parent, but I just immediately like, all right, you on the phone calling 911, okay, you helping this person, and it's just
Mm-hmm.
very like natural. So when I seen this person get hit on
Mm-hmm.
this bike, there was already somebody there helping the person, the victim that got hit. There was already somebody
Mm-hmm.
there with the driver basically being like, "Oh, you ain't going nowhere," but nobody was calling 911. So I was like, "All right, immediately let me grab my phone, call
Call
911."
911.
Like, and
Mm-hmm.
so I don't know where I was going
Yeah.
with that, but those type of like stressful situations, like what type of person are you? Do you freeze? Do you immediately like,
I think it depends on what
yeah,
situation is, what type of situation it is. Like, if somebody was to break in my
what do
house,
you think you would do? Yeah.
I don't know, cause am I startled because I'm like sleep? Am I on my couch and I'm already like
Mm.
up? Am I don't know if I'm prepared to deal with that. I personally don't know if
I
I'm
don't
prepared to deal with
yeah,
that. If
that type of
somebody
situation, I don't, because I've never been in that. Yeah, I don't know. And because also I'm a parent, I think my reaction will be a lot different from your reaction. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. I've watched there's a show on Netflix called Unsolved Crimes or yeah, no, not
Hmm.
Unsolved Crimes. I Survived a Crime.
You
It's like
stay
a
watching
old
that
it's
crazy
a
shit,
old
bro.
show.
You need to stop
I
watching
do.
that shit. That's why you
But
be having crazy
anyways,
ass thoughts, bro. You need to pay attention to what you watching, cause that shit be having you thinking crazy. Stop doing that shit.
I know, but then it prepares you
No,
too
bitch, you
that
never prepared
like
for no situation like that. Stop thinking about that crazy shit. We just talked about this shit earlier today, bro. Mm-mm.
no,
Mm-mm.
but
Keep going. Tell your story.
anyways, you just see a whole bunch of shit like that happens like, well, damn, I wouldn't have thought to do that or I don't know. It's just the how people react is so
Mm-hmm.
fucking different. Like there was a one situation where someone came in to rob the restaurant or whatever and the register dude was just sitting there recording him and like the dude was just trying to break the register or whatever like that. There was oh my gosh, no, girl. There was one where this big black man, he looked crazy,
Mentally.
mental,
Mm-hmm.
unstable. Anyway, he comes in and he just walks up to this dude and shoots him point blank, shoots him. And there's people in the fucking store. So now people are like hiding or whatever. And he made the register dude lock the doors or whatever. And he just sat in there. I don't know what this man wanted. He just sat in there or whatever. Finally, they bum rushed him and I don't know if they shot him, but they took the gun away from him or something. Child, it was a hot mess. I was like, I don't know what I would do in that situation. I would hope that I would pick the right moment to like help and like
Mm-hmm.
stop it. I don't want to die doing it. But sometimes those people are like so needed because they save so many other people by
The
being the
hero.
hero
Yeah.
and stuff like that. It just takes that one brave
Like
person
talk
to
somebody down or
not even talk somebody to actually
yeah.
engage with the person and like knock the gun out their hand or fight with them or something like that. Cause I feel like a lot of the crimes that I saw, people were scared to shoot the gun. They
Mm.
had a gun, but they were scared to shoot. And most times when they shot, it's because they
Yeah,
was
and it was
fucking
just like
scared.
a reaction, yeah.
Yeah. And that's the part that bothered me the most. Granted, I didn't want people to shoot the gun, but like, why are you bringing a gun if you scared to use it?
I
If
don't
that's not
think
the way to
so, friend.
think. But But, like, why are you
It's
here
because they
then?
hurt, people hurt, friend. People really need help. People are hurt,
I
and hurt people
know.
hurt other people, whether that be emotionally,
I know.
physically, whatever. Like, there, people are sick and they are hurting and they need help, which is the main reason why we get on here every week and tell y'all black asses that y'all need it. Or whatever you are. I don't know if you white. I don't know if we got white people that listen to us. I don't know. But whatever color you are,
I don't
whatever
fucking know.
shade of the rainbow, y'all need help. Y'all need therapy. And this is why we get on here and tell y'all that. So you're not acting crazy.
Ain't none of our colors in the
It's
rainbow,
all
by the
right.
way,
Some
but
type
okay.
of pigmentation in there. So well. Anyway, keep
Okay.
going.
All right. All right, let's talk about the different types of PTSD. Now, I saw various types, but these are the ones I'm choosing to go with. Um, there are intrusive memories, avoidance, negative changes in thinking and mood, and changes in physical and emotional reaction. So, but most of these all of them, honestly, are self-explanatory. But intrusive memories is basically reliving the traumatic event, basically having flashbacks, having upsetting dreams and nightmares, or recurrent memories about the event, like just constantly, like the- they just invading your mind. Memories are
Yeah.
invaded your mind. Have you ever experienced intrusive memories where like something has happened and like you constantly, it's like constantly replaying
Yeah, but
in
I
your
wouldn't
mind?
necessarily say like put it in a category as like traumatic stress. It could just be regular
Mm,
stress, right? Like, and this is why
mhm.
I say like we've all experienced like some type of traumatic stress, but it be on different levels. So what one person might consider to
Yeah.
be like super traumatic, another person won't. So say if I got into like a confrontation with a significant other or something like that, that type of scenario I play back in my head kind of on repeat to kind of see like maybe if I would have done this differently or if I would have done this differently, like those type of scenarios. But as far as like a true like traumatic experience, like so say something like fear based, like I'm scared or something like that, like do I really relive those moments? I don't think so.
I think what can differentiate like I guess the levels is how you live your life around that event. Like is it really like how much it
Mhm.
affects your life? Like are you not able to carry day-to-day activities because this event has happened and like it's constantly
Mhm.
replaying in your mind or something of that sort. I feel like when it's like taking over your life, it's probably like the severe level of PTSD. Versus I feel like I've had
Mhm.
all of these things, but maybe not to the point where I've had to reshape my life because
Yeah.
of it,
Like,
you
so
know?
a good example is like, I've been in a ton of car accidents, right? But none of them have done enough damage to me where I might change my how I drive or like or don't want
Or
to
don't want
drive
to
or
drive.
something like that. But I've been in pretty
Mhm.
severe car accidents too. Like they're not just like always little fender benders. Like some of them I've actually got hurt in, and I still drive. I don't have any fear of getting behind the wheel and drive outside of the other, normal daily stuff that we all deal with while we on the road. But like, there's no
Mhm.
fear where I can like, oh, let me not drive. Oh, let me take the back roads. I don't want to get on the highway or anything like that. Where other people, if they get
Mhm.
into one little fender bender, they are shook. So yeah.
Girl. So the next type of PTSD, avoidance. Avoidance is avoiding thinking, talking about the event, avoiding places, activities, or people that remind you of the event. Um,
I guess if
yeah,
that's the case, like maybe I feel like I would do that, but I don't know. I don't have any
you know,
personal examples that I can think of at the
connection
moment.
to
I'm
it.
sure there might be some. I just can't think of any at the moment. So yeah.
Avoidance just ain't the way I move anyway. So, child.
In some cases, I do avoid shit. Like I do avoid certain situations, but I don't think I avoid it out of fear of like post traumatic stress. I think I just avoid it because I don't want to deal with the shit. And maybe if I dug a little bit
Yeah,
deeper and try to figure out why don't I want to deal with it, maybe it would lead back to something like that. Yeah,
an event.
maybe if I really sat down and did
Yeah.
the work, but it's not too many. It's not a lot of examples that I can pull from. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Um, the other type of PTSD is negative changes in thinking and mood. You can have negative thoughts about yourself or other people, hopelessness, not remembering important aspects of the event. And I feel like that is like when always say that, like, if I ever got raped or robbed or something like that, I'm probably not gonna remember the
You
person
think
or
you would
nothing.
blank out.
Like, I think I would
Yeah.
fucking blank. Yeah. So you know how bad my memory
Mm.
is anyway, so child. I need to hang up some cameras so
Girl,
somebody get it.
stop. Don't even be inviting that energy around. Like, stop.
Yeah,
Stop.
I'm not trying to. I'm sorry. Okay. Uh, so and then the last one is changes in physical and emotional reactions, being easily startled or frightened, being on guard, self-destructive behavior like drinking too much or driving too fast, trouble sleeping or concentrating, and overwhelming guilt or shame. So I'm sure some things probably come to people's minds when they hear about these types of PTSD. But like I said, the severity of it, I think, really comes down to how much you try to reshape your life around the these changes based on that traumatic event that has
Hmm.
happened in your life. Like, because I've had all of these things, like replaying shit from a relationship in my head, like, ugh, or whatever the case is, or
Or
like
doing something to numb the
I don't
pain
know.
or numb it, drinking too much. I've seen that. I've seen that
Yeah,
in
drink.
a lot of my relatives.
Mhm.
I've seen that in shit. Some of my friends. Like, I've seen that shit before. So, yeah.
Yeah. And I think PTSD is a lot more normal than we make it out to be. And because I think a lot of people typically relate it to war and combat and stuff. But like Chloe got PTSD from
It
Tristan
can
cheating on
literally
her.
be anything. If you
It could
grew
be
up in a
anything.
household where your parents argued a lot, that could be traumatic for you, especially if it got violent or physical or something like that, and you seen that growing up. That could trigger you. That could be really stressful. And how you deal with certain situations, like altercations or any type of confrontation, will probably show up some type of way for you. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think and it's hard to gauge stress for like as a baseline for people because people handle stress in different ways. So what may be stressful to me might not be
Hmm.
stressful to Kay. Like I tell you right now, I get easily stressed over shit that I probably know is not in my control, and it still just stresses me out because it's like I what else can I be doing to not
Yeah.
keep this from happening? That's just how my brain be thinking, child. Even though, I don't know. Anyways, but, yeah, those are the different types of PTSD. Uh, oh,
Well,
you already asked that question. Has an event in your life given you PTSD, and how have
yeah,
you dealt
I
with it?
definitely have
But
come across some situations where I've
mhm,
been in pretty stressful scenarios, but I feel like I've probably dealt with it, or if it comes up, I can recognize it. Yeah.
mhm. Yeah, there's definitely things in my childhood that I feel like probably could have given me
And you probably
PTSD.
do have it, whether you realize it or not.
Yeah, yeah. But I don't know. I don't allow it to, like I don't think I allow it to, like, cloud or
Or
shape
do
how
you
I
think you're
live
just
my
not
life
dealing with
today.
it? You think you dealt with
No,
it
I
and you
think
just
I'm
okay.
yeah,
All right.
yeah. Yeah. 'Cause I realized too, like, those experiences weren't
Y-
my experience. It's something that I witnessed, yes, but it's not something that I
Okay.
don't know, child.
Maybe we can unpack this later. Maybe. Mm.
Mm, alright. Do you got some tips for how
Well,
people
if
can
you
deal with
do
their
say you have
PTSD?
gone to therapy and you realize that, okay, yeah, you have been diagnosed with PTSD, one thing that your therapist should help you work through is triggers and knowing your triggers. I think I mentioned that earlier, but there's something that's going to cause you to relive that moment, and you need to know what those things are that's going to cause you to relive those moments, so that way when you do encounter them, you know how to handle and move through the situation, not
Maneuver.
avoid it, because you can't always avoid certain things. You might live in an environment where you're going to constantly be triggered, and you might not be able to control where you live at. You might not have the financial needs to move or whatever. So even though you can't get out of the environment, you can know what the trigger is and how to maneuver, right? So that's the biggest thing for
Mm-hmm.
my personal, I guess, perspective, is figuring out what your triggers are and what caused you to relive those traumatic experiences, and then figuring out a way to live with those or maneuver or just, yeah.
And don't try to self-diagnose yourself. I know we talking about it here on the podcast, but don't try to self-diagnose yourself. Go to an actual person who can help you and allow them to be like,
Mm-hmm.
you have PTSD. Don't be like, I
Yeah.
think I got PTSD. Blah, 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 blah. Allow them to do their job and do the work,
And
and eventually
also,
you'll
one
get
thing that
better,
I want to
child.
say, don't minimize your experiences. I know a lot of time, like, you be like, oh, it wasn't that bad, or oh, it's this is what it is, like it just happened or whatever. If something bad happened to you, regardless of what it is, like if it's extreme or not, like it was your experience and it caused you some type of stress and caused you some type of like, ugh, oh, okay. Yeah, so
If you
don't
feel triggered
minimize
by
your
it,
feelings, because they're real and they're valid, regardless of how small they may seem. So, and don't allow anybody else to minimize it and be like, "Oh, girl, well that went shit. I did this. I did this." Well, girl, that's not my that's not
ooh,
my
I hate them kind
experience.
of
This is
people.
my experience, and it matters to me, and it's important to me. So it's
Yeah,
valid. Period. And so
yeah,
don't yourself minimize it, and don't allow someone else to minimize your experience. Yeah. And
yeah.
that's all that I have.
Um, okay,
All
that's me
right,
too.
that's
So
it for this week's episode of You Need a Therapist podcast. Please join us next week. Thank y'all for joining us this week. And yeah, I don't have anything else for the people, so I'm about to go to bed because this one has hit you, girl. So yeah,
I'm tired too, but
girl.
I
Well, it's
still it's
9:30 over
6:30
here,
right now. Anyways,
so
I know. Well, shut up, girl. You
I ain't
make me
make you
stay up
do
all
that.
night and
First of
watch
all,
House of
you
Dragon.
did that. I went to bed. I was asleep, so I ain't make you do that. So I don't know.
I felt you
And then
say,
had the nerve to
Raven,
be
you gotta
texting
watch
me.
it.
No good. Well,
You
I was
gotta
asleep.
finish it. It was on Do Not Disturb, so I knew it wasn't
I
bothering
woke
you.
up this morning like, why this hoe texting me knowing I'm
So,
asleep?
because
Girl.
Prince
Bye,
Lucerys
y'all.
died.
We'll see y'all next week.
Bye.